Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh. This is Overlanding Now, and the time has finally come for us to say goodbye to our beloved HYK Outdoors trail runner. Now, before everybody gets all crazy, there is something in the works that I'm not prepared to disclose, but we do need to get rid of our Teardrop camper. So I figured this was probably a perfect way for me to get with somebody on YouTube who may be interested in purchasing a camper like this for much less than what it cost to buy one brand new. So in this video, we're gonna talk through the specs, we're gonna talk through how you can get your hands on this particular camper, and at the end, we will discuss how much you're gonna save by purchasing this camper versus buying a brand new one. And it's a sad day, but it has to be done, and I would love to share with you the next leg of our experiences and the next leg of our travels, but unfortunately I can't disclose everything yet. So let's get into the 2022 Trail Runner from HYK Outdoors, and let's get you into a camper. First and foremost, in order for us to move on to the next leg of our travels and the next leg of our adventures, we are doing a lot of downsizing within our household. And although my wife has been, let's say, very patient with my adventure vehicle collection that it seems to continuously grow, the ultimatum was given that I have to make a decision on something. I have to be prepared to get rid of something in order to get this next piece of our adventure. Now, real quick, if you guys are not following us on Instagram, I will put our Instagram somewhere right here, and as well as our photography Instagram, storm chasing, storm photos, that whole thing that we do outside of the overlanding, I will put that Instagram right here. We would love to have you be a part of those experiences as well. Okay, so let's take it back. If you're watching this video, either A, you just like watching me talk to a camera, and I greatly appreciate that, or B, you're here to hear about how you can purchase a camper for much less than what you would if you would buy it brand new. So let me state some facts here so I can give you some information about the camper. The camper is a 2022 Trail Runner from HYK Outdoors. Now, what does that mean? They have an on-road model and they have an off-road model. What you see behind me is the off-road model. The reason we got the off-road model is because simply we tried to go to remote places and camp and spend time with our family. So if you're new here, that's kind of what we do on this channel. Now, I knew that I needed to get something that was capable of getting us to the most remote locations possible. So the off-road version was what I opted to go with. Now, the off-road version comes with an upgraded frame as well as 3,500 pound axle-less timberen axles. I know that sounds probably like a double negative or just incorrect entirely, but there is an axle-less system that allows for the wheels to articulate independently. Now, you're not getting a large amount of independent travel, but it is much more stable than their on-road version, and it can hold a lot more weight and take a lot more of a beating. If you guys are new to the channel, then you probably haven't seen any of our adventures when we took our Subaru Outback Wilderness out west pulling this camper. I will put those videos up here so you can take a look at those so you can see this thing in action, because we did not take it easy on it. Now, this camper has just under 2,500 miles on it. So we've taken it on one trip, slept in it several nights, but it's just not something that I thought we were going to use as much as I thought we were going to use it. So we are in a position now where in order to get to the next level of our adventure, we're going to have to get rid of this camper. Now, recently, I just dropped the camper off at HYK Outdoors to have a lot of things done to it because I noticed some weaknesses, which is awesome because HYK Outdoors did it at absolutely no cost. And it's even better for you because it is something that has been brand new and completely restored that you do not have to worry about. So I want to start up front, talk through from the very front all the way to the back, and let's go over some of the items that I'm talking about, some of the weaknesses that have been fixed, and let's just go over each component and try to to give you an overview of what you can expect when you purchase this new HYK Outdoors camper. So starting up front, some of the key features that make this more off-road versus on-road is what you may not be able to see up front is the lock and roll hitch. And what the lock and roll hitch does is allows the trailer to articulate independently of the vehicle. With this camper, you will receive 2 hitches for the hitch receiver on your vehicle. You will receive a drop hitch and a standard straight hitch. Because I had the Gladiator, the Power Wagon, and the Subaru Outback Wilderness, I needed to have additional hitches depending upon which vehicle that I was pulling this with. So you get 2 when you purchase this camper. Another thing that is not, this is something we did to the camper, was the 2.5 gallon Rotopax gas can, as well as the Rotopax mount. This stays with the camper. I don't need it. I have plenty of them, and I'm sure having this additional gas will suit you well. It suited us well when we were on our trip. Another thing that this camper comes with is its own independent trailer brakes. So if you have, I got a bug on me, if you have a independent, or you have a trailer braking system or a 7-pin connector in your vehicle, this camper does have trailer brakes. Now, another thing is the steel tongue box. This is an upgrade from HYK Outdoors. I opted to get this because I also had them, which is an additional upgrade, install a fridge slide on the left side of the camper, the passenger side of the camper, and it also has a 12-volt cigarette outlet plug inside, so you can plug your refrigerator into the camper whenever you need it and use the slide to pull it out, and it frees up space in the back. It's not inconvenient to have it up here, and you don't have to put your refrigerator. You could use a cooler. This also comes with a Yeti 47 quart, I believe, 47 liter cooler that we are going to keep in this when you decide to purchase it, because we just don't need it anymore. And this is a complete starter kit or a complete finished product for somebody who may be interested in getting into a teardrop. Now, the things that I mentioned, the weak points of the HYK Outdoors camper, this tongue box took a beating from rocks when we were off-road. And what I had them do is install rhino lining all across the front of this tongue box. That was something that they didn't do previously, but based on my experience and what happened, I was just starting to get rust spots here. So they cleaned all of it up, repainted it, and installed a rhino lining up here on the tongue box to keep you free of any rock chips. On this side, we have a front runner box that has all the things that you're gonna need for the camper. The wheel chocks, first aid kit. It also has just miscellaneous items that we are gonna keep with the camper because we are not going to need them. Again, I have multiple front runner boxes, so this one will stay with the camper. So when you purchase it, everything that you're seeing today comes with it. If you do not need it, I will be happy to take it out, but anybody who's looking to get into a camper, this thing is completely set up for you to take off on your adventure the day you pick it up. So a couple other additions to this camper that do not come with the factory camper when you build it is the Yakima Skinny Warrior roof rack. We put this up there to carry firewood, just to have our camp chairs tied down up there, and just additional storage space. This stays with the camper as well. On the other side, which you may not be able to see very well, is the 8-foot Ironman awning. That is a factory option that comes from HYK Outdoors. We've used it several times when we were out in Arizona. That stays with the camper also. Up on top, you have a Maxair fan. That is a 12-volt Maxair fan that basically pulls air through the camper to keep you cool on those warmer nights. Now, this does not come with any type of air conditioning. That would be your main cooling source. But each side of the camper has an entrance or an exit door of the same exact size. And on the inside, you have windows that roll up with a screen so you can pull air through the camper while you're trying to sleep. That is something that is, I can't put into words how important that piece is, because being hot at night, not being able to get a breeze when there's no breeze whatsoever, it makes a huge difference in the temperature and the ability to sleep comfortably inside this unit. Now, you will also, with this camper, as well as up front, whatever these are, I forget, these fenders, my Lord, the fenders are also rhino lined because this was another weak point. A lot of rock chips were hitting this fender, and the rhino lining definitely makes a huge difference. Back behind me, you have 35-inch tires with a 16-inch steel wheel. These tires are off-road tires. I aired them down when we had the Subaru out and we were traveling with this vehicle when we would go off-road, just because you are going to have a bit of bounce if you're pulling this through tough terrain. So I would highly recommend, if you purchase this camper, air those tires down enough. That way, when you're traveling and you're off-road, you have a much more enjoyable ride. Now, over each door, you do have a light. I don't have the battery turned on at the moment, but you do have a light so you can see getting in and out of the camper, as well as lights in the galley and lights inside the cabin. What we'll do now is move around to the galley so I can show you what you'll receive with this camper, what stays with it, and a good approximation of the size you can expect to have while you're in the wilderness. So to me, this is where the magic happens. This is the most important part of the camper, of any camper for us, because cooking and having space for all of your things is extremely important. I want to turn the battery on here so we can have these lights turn on. So up above, you have two lights that you can use while you're cooking or while you're at camp. Those are the only two lights that are back here, but they're extremely bright. It's plenty, more than probably what you need. You do have an AC 110 volt outlet on this side, as well as USB ports on either side, so you can plug in your phone. There's another 12 volt cigarette plug over here in case you have something that you need to run off of a 12 volt cigarette plug. And then back behind here, I'm gonna probably lose something here. We have the roll of toilet paper, which you can have, as well as the Everest Camp Chef stove that we just don't need anymore. And if you don't need it either, we can get rid of it, but it is part of purchasing this camper. On this side, you have additional storage. Same with over here. We just keep the Camp Chef back here because it makes the most sense for us. Now down below, this is another feature of the camper that was not standard. I asked them to do in addition because I think countertop space is a premium. No matter what your adventure vehicle is, it's absolutely imperative to have the right amount of counter space, and having additional counter space is never a bad thing. So this drawer is on a slide. I'm sure you can hear the tractor behind me, and I apologize. And it has an additional countertop space here. Now, if you don't need it or you need to access the bottom, you can simply take that countertop space up and you can get directly into all of your dishes. All of the dishes in this are going with the camper. It's just, we have so many camp dishes and we have so much stuff that I would love for somebody to be able to pick this thing up and just take it out camping the day they pick it up and have everything they need. It's just a lot of times you just start collecting things, and I'm trying to downsize. Now, on the right side over here, it's just an additional storage space. There's a pan down here and additional storage space. And on the left side, you have your battery system. Now you have a AGM battery down here that powers all of your lights, and everything is extremely low draw. So that battery lasted us about 8 days just because we didn't use a whole lot of power with these lights. And then you can charge it directly off of a 110 outlet. When you pull up to camp or you're at a camp spot, there is a Shore Power plug and a No Code Genius 5 trickle charger that will charge that battery up in about 6 hours. So that in itself is the Galley. Everything here is made out of birch plywood. Everything here is custom design. It is absolutely rock solid. We love having this camper. I wish we didn't have to get rid of it, but I also understand sometimes you have to make decisions, and this is one of those decisions. So let's hop inside and I'm going to show you around in there, talk about the mattress that we have, because that mattress is awesome and it's also going to stay with the camper. All right, so it's a little bit hard to get in here with you, so I'm going to kind of talk through some of the components in here. So above each side, you have a reading light, and it's dimmable. It's got 2 separate settings, and there's one on either side. Now, there's also a 110 outlet up here. Your fan and all your controls are just above you here. And then everything on this side is your storage compartment inside the unit. Again, all made out of Baltic birch, all beautifully finished. It's a fantastic unit, super strong, rugged, durable. But the showstopper here for us is this purple mattress. So I'll put the link in the description for the purple mattress we purchased. This is a $900 mattress. It's a full-size mattress, and 2 people can very easily sleep in here absolutely comfortably. I would say up to about 6'2". Once you get to 6'2" and above, it does become a little bit tight, but if you're in here solo, then you can sleep sideways, and 6'4", 6'5" won't have a problem at all. But this purple mattress is so nice, and I just can't think of another use for it or another reason to keep it. So it's going with the camper as well. So not only will you get all of the different components that I mentioned earlier, you will also get this purple mattress, and we have slept on this a total of 9 times. So you get a mattress that's been slept on 9 times. And if that creeps you out, totally fine. I'll take it out, no big deal. But that's what you receive on the interior in the cabin with this camper when you decide to purchase. Last 2 items I want to talk about before we get to the good part is this 5-gallon propane tank that you will receive on the mount as it sits, and we also have an extender, a 5-foot extender propane line that you can plug directly into your camp stove, so you can cook in the back or you can cook on the fender, whatever you want to do, but that does come with it as well. And something that I think is extremely important, and it's something I didn't know when I was purchasing the camper, and I had to ask this question. Our intention was to sleep with this and take this so we can camp in the winter. Having a very young daughter makes that a little more difficult than I thought it would be. And I knew I needed something that was insulated. This cabin is completely insulated with traditional housing insulation. When they build these campers, everything is built in a grid system, and insulation is stuffed down before they cover everything. This thing holds heat incredibly well. I had a small electric ceramic heater, or a ceramic heater that is electric. And I brought that with us when we were in the desert, and it was getting down to about 40, 45 degrees at night. And I brought it for my wife and my daughter while they slept in here, but they ended up never using it one time because the camper stayed that warm. My wife actually ended up opening one of these windows to allow a little bit of air in because it did get so hot. The one thing I will recommend is if you are sleeping in a colder type climate, having that fan on to draw some of that humidity out will suit you very well if you've never camped in cold weather. So those are the last components that I felt it was absolutely important to mention. Let's get into the good part. So the good part, how much does it cost? And what are we doing after this? Well, what we're doing after this, I can't fully disclose. And I know that's probably annoying, but I want to make that announcement at a different time when this camper is gone. So sharing this with your friends, family, whatever it is, whoever may be interested in this, please share this with them so we can get this thing gone and we can usher in the next phase of our adventures. The next good part, how much do I want for it? Well, I'm not going to tell you that either. I will say this camper specs out between $23,000 and $25,000 brand new. This unit has 2,500 miles on it. We've slept in it a total of 9 times, and I am willing to let it go to the right person for significantly less than what it is brand new. In this market and in this climate, this economic situation that we're in, and everything costs so much, I'm not looking to make money on this camper. I'm not looking to even break even. What I'm trying to do is get this camper in the hands of somebody who's actually going to use it. If this is something you're serious about, I will put our email and as well as our Instagrams in the description. You can ask the questions through email or on Instagram, and we can talk about what it is that we can do to make this camper yours. I want to give it to somebody and let somebody purchase this who's actually going to put this thing through what it wants to be put through. We were unable to do that because we got another vehicle and things changed, and because if you know me, things change very rapidly in my life, and the next thing is on the horizon. But before that next thing can come to fruition, this has got to go. So like I said previously, share it with somebody. let's get somebody into a camper for way less than what it would cost to build a brand new one. My name is Josh. This is Overlanding Now. I appreciate you guys for watching, and until next time, we'll see ya.